morning. Last month I talked to you about the most frequently held conversation I have with salespeople for the second year in a row now. And it has to do with the disappearing client. That is, you give someone a price or you have a meeting with someone and it goes well. Or you've got a price coming up and you throw the price at them and then nothing. One of the more frustrating things about business in general, I find, is the pace of business. You know, things are not always happening at the pace that I want them to happen at. I'm a small business person, you know. I mean, I like to make decisions and then let's go. Let's move on. Let's do the job. What's next? And that's not the way things work. Maybe some of the smaller times when the smaller accounts will need a price right away, and it's to your advantage to just get it to them as quickly as possible because that's going to get you the business. A lot of times it happens that way, but not all companies are like that. And what I want to impress upon you with this, I know I'm kind of talking on both sides of my mouth here, because in the past I have said that it's to your advantage to get a price out right away. But to those larger companies, even the medium-sized and up companies, where timing is definitely important, but if you get the opportunity to sit on your price and really think it through and provide a broader proposal, it might just be of benefit to you. So perhaps you make contact with them and say, listen, you know, when is this price due? I want to get back to you with the best number that I can. And they say, well, why don't you give it to the end of next week? Here's what you ought to do. Give it some initial thought. Get some pricing together if you want to. And then put the project aside. Give it a day or two. Here's the thing. I create a lot of content. I've got 52 blogs a year, 52 sales tips a year, and 12 columns for Printing Impression magazine. That's a lot of content. And some of it I just rattle out. You know, I'll write something down, like this subject, for example. I wrote this down. It was just a conversation I was having with someone. I thought, oh, that'd make a good sales tip or a blog, and I'd write it down, and then I script it out, and then I make these recordings. But the columns, I found the best material that I create, the best columns that I write are the ones where I write it, and even though it looks complete, I put it away, put it aside. And then I go back later on and rethink the whole thing. And maybe I'll take it a different direction. And it's not I don't do that naturally. It's very difficult for me to do that because I want to churn it out. But I thought, you know, I really want to make this material of value. And I sometimes it's a matter of proofreading because, as you will see, I use a microphone to record these things, and they don't always phonetically come out the correct way. Farquharson comes out with dark with sin. That's how Dragon Dictate interprets my name. But by putting something aside, giving it some time and going back to it, you really are able to make a better proposal. Kelly Malazzi and I, who wrote this book, of course, Who's Making Money at Digital and Inkjet Printing and How, we had a big proposal due recently, and I was ready. And Kelly said, let's give it some time. And I'm like, and here, a week later, I looked at the proposal, and we were light years away from where we started. Had we cranked this thing out when I wanted to, it would have been inadequate. As a result of the extra time that we took, we put together a really, really professional proposal, I hope. And I hope we get the business as a result, but it really looks like $1 million now. Take your time. When you have the time, take your time. Rethink it. Go learn the story behind the job, or learn more about what the client's trying to do, or present more than just a number. Why should they do business with you? Make a broader proposal. You increase your chances of getting the business. So this is Mr. Patience being counterintuitive, talking mostly to myself here. Slow down, Bill. And giving you some sales tip advice. Have a great selling week, everybody. If you don't tune in next week, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday of the year.